Napoleon Bonaparte, the unstoppable French general and emperor, had his eyes set on a dream that would have sent shockwaves through history: the invasion of Britain. Despite ruling much of continental Europe, Napoleon knew that his ultimate rival lay just across the English Channel. He would go down in history as the man who forever altered the course of Europe, but his campaign to conquer Britain, though bold, would be a rare mark of failure in his otherwise successful military career. In 1703, Napoleon assembled an enormous army, known as the Armée d'Angleterre, at the French port of Boulogne. His aim was to land over 130,000 troops on the British shores, secure the coast, and march on London. The scale of Napoleon's ambition was unlike anything Europe had seen in centuries. From the coast of France, his forces drilled tirelessly for the daunting sea crossing, while Napoleon devised elaborate plans to bypass the Royal Navy's blockades. He understood that Britain's military was formidable, but if he could disrupt British trade, weaken their financial base, and land his army on British soil, he believed the British government could be forced to sue for peace. The English Channel, however, presented a major obstacle. With their unrivaled naval power, the British fleet under Admiral Horatio Nelson patrolled the waters, ready to intercept any invasion force. Napoleon's solution was a strategic alliance with the Spanish fleet, aiming to create a combined Franco-Spanish armada that would overwhelm the British defenses. His plans were meticulous. The fleets would converge in the Caribbean, return to Europe, and launch a surprise assault, clearing the way for a safe crossing. But Napoleon's vision was about to face an unexpected challenge. In October 1705, the Franco-Spanish fleet met the British at the Battle of Trafalgar. The British, under Nelson's command, employed daring tactics to shatter Napoleon's hopes. Despite being outnumbered, the British forces decisively defeated the Allied fleet, effectively ending any chance for Napoleon to challenge British naval supremacy. Nelson was mortally wounded in the battle, but lived long enough to witness his ultimate victory over the French. The dream of a French invasion of Britain was shattered, as Napoleon no longer had the means to control the Channel. Without control of the sea, Napoleon had to abandon his invasion plans. He turned his attention back to continental Europe, focusing on campaigns against Austria, Prussia, and Russia in his bid to create a vast European empire. But the British threat never disappeared. Instead, Britain maintained its naval blockade, strangling French trade and providing financial and military support to Napoleon's enemies across the continent. The failed invasion had far-reaching consequences. Napoleon's shift to economic warfare led him to establish the continental system, an attempt to cut Britain off from European trade. But the system backfired, hurting French allies and causing resentment that would erode Napoleon's influence. Meanwhile, Britain continued to finance coalitions against France, keeping the struggle alive until Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo in 1815. So, why didn't Napoleon conquer Britain? The answer lies in Britain's naval supremacy and Napoleon's inability to secure the Channel. His ambition and strategic genius were formidable, but in this case, geography and naval prowess held him back. Despite his plans for an invasion, the British Navy stood as an immovable barrier, proving that even Napoleon had limits.